My name is Rana R. I'm a pediatric neurologist and epilepsy specialist at UT Southwestern Medical Center in Dallas, and I also work at Children's Health in Dallas. So my journey to neurology was a little, probably similar to many people's stories. I loved the neuroscience course in medical school. Localization, tracks were completely fascinating to me. But then I sort of moved away from that and thought that I wanted to do actually pediatric hematology until I was in my pediatrics residency, and that's when I had just outstanding mentors. And I realized what you could do, because people would say, oh, neurology, or pediatric neurology especially, is so sad. And I saw the flip side of it, what we could do with the kids and how you could impact their lives. I love the chronic disease aspect of it, that it was a relationship. And what I tell my students always is that you can't just love kids, you also have to love parents, because it's a unit, and you get to really impact people. I'm a pediatric epileptologist, and I really loved epilepsy because I felt that it was one of the fields where I could make a difference, that we had treatments, not only medications. I also run the ketogenic diet program and thought that this was fantastic, that there was a special diet for epilepsy. Epilepsy surgery is one of my passions, and it really gets to the root of what we do, that we can map the brain and we can figure out where language centers are, where movement is, and to do that and to know where eloquent cortex is in relation to where seizure onsets arise, just made it it's the purest form of neurology, and that it really covers the entire age spectrum. I decided to go into academic neurology because I'd always loved teaching, and I loved the dynamic environment of working with really bright young people and colleagues and the interaction. I loved that there were conferences and that you could ask somebody fascinating events in a patient's life and how you could treat that. And so I knew that academics was for me. I went on to become the program director for the child neurology residency. Somewhat serendipitously, the chairman of neurology came to me and said, Rana, I really would love for you to run the residency program. And at that point, even though I was self-identified as somebody who was passionate about teaching, I really hadn't seen myself following a career in specifically medical education. And I think just being open to the opportunity, because now I'm 11 and a half years into it, and I couldn't imagine doing anything else. I love that I get to marry my clinical practice with education and really see how you can be a dynamic force for change, and that residencies aren't just boxes of requirements, but they're really ways to be innovative and to get a whole new generation excited about why I'm excited about it. As a program director, I meet with many students and even pediatric residents who are interested in pursuing a career in neurology. And the first thing I tell them is, although it seems like there are many pieces to the puzzle, that there's neuroradiology and neuropathology and anatomy and medicines, as long as you're passionate about something, you will excel. The ability to help a child through some of the toughest conditions, the ability to be a support through an entire family unit, and to see your patients grow and the impact of your interventions on them is extremely rewarding. So as long as, anything in life you want to be good at, there's hard work involved. So as long as you love it and you find people around you who are going to support you through it, I think those are the most important things. In addition, people look at lists of, what is the most important thing in this program or that program? And ultimately, the culture is really important. You will learn neurology in any ACGME accredited program, but you may learn it I think better or be more able to bring ideas to the table or ask more questioning, have more questions if you feel supported. And I think that the culture of the program is really important. So sometimes, we've been asked to what have we contributed to neurology? And I think that's tough, at some point to think, how could one person impact a field? But probably my families and patients would tell you that the day-to-day interactions, that you reach out, that you're caring, that I personally am always thinking about this child or the other one who has a unique problem that may be more challenging, and I'm seeking out ways to help them. I think we impact through trying to be good role models and showing our trainees, male and female, how to have a work-life balance, how to be, get to your kids' game and be accessible to the people who need you. And then maybe at some small level, the legacy that you leave when you think of all the students that you've worked with and the residents that you've taught, and you hope that they go out and they do wonderful things and they're even better than their professors.